This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
It's the Noon Report from Family Life, bringing a Christian worldview to what's happening in New York, Pennsylvania, across the country, and around the world. Weather with Kevin Williams, plus special features and reports with the Family Life News team. Now, here's what's happening.
All eyes on Alaska. Good afternoon. Welcome to the broadcast. For the first time in a decade, Russian ruler Vladimir Putin steps foot today on U.S. soil. He's in Alaska for high-stakes talks with President Trump, aimed at winding down the war in Ukraine, Europe's largest war since World War II. Those talks will happen at a U.S. military base in Anchorage.
This meeting sets up the second meeting. The second meeting is going to be very, very important because that's going to be a meeting where they make a deal.
Trump says he'll know soon at today's get-together if a deal is possible. He vows severe consequences for Putin if one isn't.
This is going to be tough going for President Trump.
Fordham University professor Beth Noble says Putin, like Trump, is a skilled negotiator.
I've seen him be very charming, President Putin, and I have seen him be very, very tough, President Putin.
For his part, Trump says, I'm pretty tough, too.
As Putin knows, I'm the toughest one that he's ever had to deal with. He's never had to deal with anybody like me.
Beth Noble thinks it would be wise for Trump to lower expectations at today's talks.
Putin started this war, and he's really the only person who can end it.
CBS News military analyst Jeff McCausland says the elephant in the room at today's talks is, of course, Ukraine, the country that's being carved up by Russia.
Well, there's a saying in diplomacy that if you're not at the table, you're probably on the menu. And that is, I'm sure, President Zelensky's concern. And frankly, the concern, I think, also of our European allies.
Russian affairs expert Dan Hoffman.
President Trump's leadership is very much going to be on the line today. Success is defined not just by a deal, but by a good deal. And I think that's what the president is looking to today.
The Alaska summit starts around 3:30 this afternoon, our time. 5 envelopes containing a suspicious white powder were recovered yesterday from an ICE field office in New York City. That discovery forced an evacuation of the building. No injuries reported. The suspicious substance is being tested today. Now to Washington, where there's been new action as part of the federal takeover of that city's police department. Attorney General Pam Bondi is named the head of the Drug Enforcement Administration as D.C.'s new emergency police commissioner. This as the National Guard continues to patrol the streets of the nation's capital.
Federal law enforcement, who by the hundreds are out in Washington, D.C., and they're going into more high crime areas, and that's where things have started to pop off a bit.
That's correspondent Scott McFarland. California Governor Gavin Newsom's calling for a special election November 4th. It's to approve new congressional maps that make that deep blue state even bluer. The pro-Democrat maps are being rolled out today in Sacramento.
We're doing this in reaction to a president of the United States that called a sitting governor of the state of Texas and said, find me 5 seats.
He says California's map will give Democrats 5 new seats in Congress. California Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley says this sort of redistricting retaliation sets a dangerous precedent.
We see this sort of escalating redistricting war continue to cascade across the country. I think it's going to be total chaos. District lines are going to be shifting. It's going to create great instability, which is why I've introduced legislation in the House that will stop this scheme from moving forward in California, but will also stop similar schemes or similar mid-decade redistricting efforts in every state.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul also threatening to redraw congressional lines in favor of Democrats. Former President Barack Obama voicing support for those Texas Democrats who fled the state to protest a GOP-led gerrymandering effort. Obama met yesterday with those runaway Democrats in a Zoom meeting.
Because of your actions, because of your courage, what you've seen is California responding, other states looking at what they can do to offset this mid-decade gerrymandering that is highly irregular.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott's vowing to have more than 50 House Democrats arrested for violating their constitutional duty. The Texas Democrats are due back in Austin this weekend. A federal judge in Maryland has blocked efforts by the White House to defund schools with DEI programs. That judge ruled the White House cannot cut federal money to colleges and universities with diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The U.S. Education Department says institutions of higher learning have toxically indoctrinated students with the false premise that the U.S. was built upon systemic and structural racism, end quote. Skin cancer is the most common form of cancer there is, and experts say the best thing you can do to protect yourself is to slap on that sunscreen when you head outside. Dermatologist Dr. Rachel Westby.
Sunscreen has been, and will remain for the foreseeable future the only evidence-backed thing that can reliably and statistically significantly reduce the risk of potentially deadly melanoma and other non-melanoma skin cancers.
The American Academy of Dermatology says 9,500 skin cancer cases are diagnosed every day in this country. Fast food restaurant chains are reporting lower breakfast sales.
Of all the times you've made it at home, has it ever tasted like our McMuffin?
The fast food giants are blaming increased economic uncertainty and pressures facing low-income consumers, a core demographic for fast food restaurants, including sky-high credit card interest rates and inflation. Jonathan Mays is the editor-in-chief of Restaurant Business Magazine.
We're really talking about a fast food market, generally speaking, that is basically tanking right now.
Mays says fast food chains have lowered prices to try to get consumers to come back.
Correspondent Christopher Cruz. Still to come on the Noon Report, the case of the bearded cop, Operation Yellow Jacket, and solar farm controversy.
Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Williams. A fine Friday underway. The weekend news is mixed. Forecast details are up in 10.
All right, Kevin, we're checking news where you live next. National Grid is raising rates in New York. The utility says the price spike is necessary to ensure energy reliability and resiliency as demand increases. But National Grid customer Daniel Wilson doesn't see the point.
With most things, yeah, you have to budget it ahead of time, but I think just the unpredictability of how much their summer rates, especially with the heat, costs, they don't really provide great insight as to how their charging mechanism or scheme works.
National Grid is the largest utility in New York, serving nearly 2.5 million customers. A spokesperson explains why the rate hike is so needed.
Hundreds of thousands of miles of electric line, thousands of miles of gas pipe across upstate New York, and we have to maintain those things so that we don't see gas leaks or we don't see power outages as much as possible, and we fix the problems that are out there.
Utility rates will be going up every year for the next 3 years for National Grid customers. The price increases begin in September. Operation Yellow Jacket is underway in Pennsylvania highway work zones. State troopers will be disguised as construction workers to catch speeders. It's designed to protect road crews. Last year, there were 1,200 crashes in construction zones in the Keystone State, resulting in 22 deaths. New York State's launched a new website so students and parents can locate their school's smartphone restriction policy. That policy takes effect statewide next month. Scott Pringle has more.
New Yorkers can go to nygov/phone free to look up their school's phone policy. The website allows folks to search by district or school name. Most districts have finalized their plans, with a few left to do so. Starting this upcoming school year, K-12 students will no longer be allowed to use smartphones in school during the entire school day as part of a new state mandate.
With school starting up soon, moms and dads could soon find school lunches costing more.
The average daily cost of a brown bag lunch is currently $6.15. That's about 3% more expensive when compared to the start of the 2024 school year. And then you dig in deeper on what the study calls a classic lunch, which includes a PB&J sandwich and milk. While the classic is still a relatively cheap option at less than $5, it runs 6% more than last year, and that's driven by the higher cost of items like jelly, apples, and those single-serve milk cartons.
Business analyst Kelly O'Grady. Calls are growing louder for the New York State Police to enforce a new law which prohibits workplace discrimination against religious attire or facial hair. This comes as a state trooper in Western New York who practices the Sikh faith has been barred from growing facial hair in keeping with his religious beliefs. Police Union President Charles Murphy.
He's a dedicated public servant who just wants to be a state trooper and provide the citizens of the state protection. He's willing to shave every year if it's for qualifications. He's agreed that if there was some type of riot or, event, he would instantly shave. That is not the problem.
The state police say they are currently reviewing the case of the bearded cop from Buffalo. Beards and turbans are sacred in the Sikh faith, but facial hair can pose a safety risk for police officers who need to wear face or gas masks. A heated debate over 2 planned solar farms in Pennsylvania. That debate's now reached a conclusion, but not everyone's happy about it.
Buffalo Township supervisors voted 4-1 to approve 2 controversial solar farms on 81 acres, despite strong public opposition. Dozens packed a meeting in the Butler County, Pennsylvania town to voice concerns over property values, safety, glare, and whether the community would benefit. The power will feed the regional grid, not directly serving the township, but despite the opposition and concern, supervisors said the projects meet township ordinances, though they did impose some conditions, including no lithium battery storage and no expansion without new approval. The developments now move to the land planning phase for further review. Brian Query, Family Life News.
Attorneys for Buffalo mass shooter Peyton Gendron have filed a motion to dismiss his indictment. It was May 14th, 2022, when Gendron murdered 10 black shoppers at a top supermarket in Buffalo in a racially motivated shooting. His lawyers now say the federal grand jury pool did not include enough black or Hispanic people or men. Gendron was not in court for yesterday's hearing. A man was arrested at the Peace Bridge this week with 109 kilograms of cocaine. That story from Family Life's Dee Haley.
31-year-old Vishafal Singh has been arrested following the seizure of cocaine while attempting to enter the United States at the Peace Bridge. Singh, a citizen of India residing in Canada, was arrested Wednesday and charged with possession with intent to distribute cocaine. Customs and Border Protection reportedly conducted an inspection of the tractor-trailer Singh was operating and found boxes containing a total of 109 kilograms of cocaine. Singh has also been connected to an incident in Detroit where 238 kilograms of cocaine were seized in July of this year. Singh is set to reappear in court on August 19th. The investigation is ongoing. Dee Haley, Family Life News.
Every 2 seconds in this country, somebody needs blood. And during the summer months, the Red Cross struggles to meet the blood demand. Spokesperson Billy Brill.
The need for blood does go up a little bit in the warmer months because of an increase in trauma incidents and emergency department visits.
Brill says blood donations are crucial to help patients survive surgeries, cancer treatment, chronic illnesses, and traumatic injuries. Just 3% of eligible Americans regularly donate blood. Legendary Buffalo sports radio talk show host Art Wander has died. He was 98 years old. Wander was a mainstay on the Buffalo airwaves for decades. The Buffalo native and Navy veteran was inducted into the Buffalo Broadcasting Hall of Fame back in 2008. Wander was surrounded by family when he passed away with a Buffalo Bills blanket on his bed. Sports next. It's the 2-minute drill on Family Life.
Good afternoon, I'm Randy Snavely. Bob, the New York Mets continue to trend in the wrong direction as they fell to the Atlanta Braves 4-3. Ozzie Albies had 3 hits with a home run and the double that drove in the go-ahead run in the 8th inning, which proved to be the winning run. Albies finished with 3 RBIs. Francisco Lindor hit his 22nd long ball of the season, but the Mets have now lost 13 of their last 15 games, and their lead for the final wild card spot now just a half a game over the Cincinnati Reds. Jose Tena was the thorn in the Phillies' side with a base hit that drove in 2 to put the Nats up 3-2, and that was how that score ended. Philadelphia has now lost 3 straight games while scoring just 3 runs. A double steal helped the Orioles defeat Seattle 5-3. Ryan Mountcastle was on third. Daniel Johnson was on first. Johnson took off for second, drew the throw down, and then in the subsequent rundown, Mountcastle hustled home to beat the tag. Johnson then made it to second base. Yeah, that hurts. Matthew Boyd only allowed 2 hits and 1 walk, but the walk came before one of the hits, which was a home run to Vladdy Guerrero, and those 2 runs were all that Max Scherzer and company needed. The Blue Jays beat the Cubs 2-1. Scherzer went 7 innings, only giving up that 1 run. The Tigers came back to knock off the Twins in 11 innings, 4-3. The resurgent D-backs won again 8-2 over Colorado. Arizona now winners of 6-7 and 9-12. Do not count them out. And the Little League World Series did not start well for the boys from Pennsylvania. Euclid Township lost to Sioux Falls 2-0. That is a look at sports.
All righty, Randy, man, have a wonderful weekend. Still to come on the Noon Report for Friday. We've got weekend weather with Kevin Williams, a mixed bag there. Rochester's Museum of Play. It's today's staycation destination. And at the end of the broadcast, skateboarding across America.
Welcome to Breakpoint, a daily look at an ever-changing culture through the lens of unchanging truth. For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet. Sunday marks the anniversary of the inauguration of John Witherspoon as president of the College of New Jersey, which is known today as Princeton University. He was among the most important and perhaps the most underrated of all of the American founding fathers. Born in Scotland in 1723, he received his Master's of Arts degree at age 16 from the University of Edinburgh, where he would continue to study divinity. In 1745, he became an evangelical minister in the Church of Scotland. A year later, Witherspoon was briefly imprisoned for opposing the Royalist Jacobite uprising. Though that experience would damage his health for the rest of his life, it did not slow him down. Upon his release, he returned to pastoral ministry and became a popular preacher, sought-after speaker, and author. In 1764, the University of St. Andrews awarded Witherspoon an honorary Doctor of Divinity degree. 4 years later, he accepted the presidency of the College of New Jersey. Though the school's primary mission at the time was to train Presbyterian ministers, Witherspoon found a mess. The students at the College of New Jersey received poor teaching and had an inadequate library. Through fundraising, reorganization, higher standards, and new resources, including hundreds of books he donated from his own personal library, Witherspoon transformed the college into a top-tier school. In addition to his leadership at such a crucial time in the university's history, Witherspoon taught courses in rhetoric, history, divinity, and moral philosophy. His ideas were anchored in Reformed theology and the natural law tradition. He was also heavily influenced by Scottish philosopher Thomas Reid and his common sense realism. These ideas became deeply rooted not only across Princeton, but across American society. And Witherspoon's teaching laid essential groundwork for both the American Revolution and the government that followed. Leaning heavily on the Calvinistic tradition, Witherspoon promoted the rights of people to challenge government overreach, even by the force of arms if necessary. He strongly supported the American Revolution with growing concern about the centralization of government and the crown assuming responsibilities that were historically relegated to the colonies. And the final straw for Witherspoon was when bishops were appointed from England to oversee religious life in the colonies. Like his Presbyterian forebears in Scotland, Witherspoon saw these violations as justification for revolt. He served in the Continental Congress from 1777 to 1784, taking on an incredible amount of work and serving on over 100 committees. His energy and passion caused John Adams to refer to Witherspoon as an animated son of liberty. After the war, he helped draft the Articles of Confederation, and he later shepherded the Constitution through the New Jersey state legislature. And yet, even with that impressive resume, his most important legacy are his students from the College of New Jersey. Witherspoon taught James Madison the necessity of checks and balances in government. His other students included Aaron Burr, 37 judges, including several members of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court and 3 U.S. Supreme Court justices, 10 cabinet officers, 12 members of the Continental Congress, 28 U.S. senators, and 49 U.S. congressmen. Witherspoon was arguably the single most influential founding father who shaped the early years of the Republic. Like almost no one else, he advanced the ideas that secured American liberty and flourishing. For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet with Breakpoint.
Thank you, John. Outside we go, Kevin Williams.
Here is your family life weather forecast for this afternoon. Sunshine, some mixed clouds at times. It'll be warm, but not too humid. High temps in the 80s. Generally fair skies tonight, low in the 60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunshine, but clouds will build across central and eastern Pennsylvania and New York's eastern southern tier, where there could be an afternoon thunderstorm. High temps 80s. And on Sunday, mostly cloudy, a couple showers and thunderstorms around, with high temperatures ranging from the 70s near Lake Ontario to near 90 in central and eastern Pennsylvania.
All right, thank you, Kevin. It's Friday, folks, the 15th of August, and this is the Noon Report on Family Life.
Creating a popular museum in downtown Rochester? Why, it was child's play. Welcome to Family Life Staycations, a summertime feature where we highlight great places to visit around the Family Life listening area. I'm Mark Webster, and this week we're off to the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. Their sounds so familiar to people the world over, and the Strong National Museum of Play is chock full of them, along with hundreds of other toys and games that meet humanity's innate need to just have fun. Sarah Poe is the Senior Vice President for Marketing and Guest Experiences, and says Strong started out as something quite different.
The Strong National Museum of Play, we're lucky enough actually to have an amazing benefactor, Margaret Woodbury Strong, who was an incredible collector of many things, and she chartered what was to become a museum of fascination. It was to house her collection, and pretty quickly we learned that a museum with a bunch of collector things wasn't necessarily gonna be the big draw that we needed it to be. So we've gone through multiple iterations. Now we do have a very important mission that is all surrounded by play. We are technically chartered actually as a history museum. Sometimes people think we're chartered as a children's museum, but because we are so highly interactive and because play inherently leads us towards children, it's a logical conclusion, but we are actually chartered as a history museum.
Okay, so who had the brainchild to do the whole play concept?
The play concept was really a combination of people. Our previous CEO, Raleigh Adams, and our leadership team at the time really took the museum to a place in 1982 when we originally opened to where we are today. Our most recent expansion is our third expansion, potentially our largest. It includes a very large parking garage. It includes an additional 90,000 square feet of admissions and 2 large exhibits. And it includes some additional collection storage for the museum as well, and is now part of what is called the Neighborhood of Play. The Neighborhood of Play is a combination of 3 really vested entrepreneurs who wanted to make sure that downtown Rochester continued to be vibrant and accessible. And so it is the Strong National Museum of Play. It is Indus Hospitality, which owns a Hampton Inn that is right across the street from us, and Konar Properties, which is apartments, condos, that are also in the Neighborhood of Play. And we're just thrilled to be able to offer such a safe, welcoming environment for families.
Whoever came up with the idea, they hit the jackpot. It's called the National Museum of Play, and it really has become a national thing. It's got a reputation well beyond Rochester now.
It does, thank you. We think so as well, but we get visitors every year from all 50 states and all 6 continents. So this year, we will be over 700,000 visitors a year. We will probably encroach 725,000, 750,000 visitors. So we are definitely growing, and we are working to appeal to as many families and individuals as we can. Play is for everyone, really.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about it. Play, I guess, means different things to different age groups. Let's go down to a little virtual tour as somebody walks in here. It's a big place. Some of the highlights, the things that they're going to be able to see and do as they walk through the doors.
There's a lot of staples that have been here, and you'll find them still here, right? We still have our incredible Sesame Street exhibit where you can have your picture taken on the stairs of Sesame Street, and that's iconic to us. Many, many people remember that from their youth, bringing their kids. Now they're bringing their grandkids. Sesame Street is iconic. Our Wegmans exhibit, our miniature grocery store. I can't tell you the number of times I hear people say that that's their favorite exhibit in the museum. It is still here.
Wegmans fame has also spread well beyond Rochester.
It sure is. It is still here and still running strong. We have a new home with our newest expansion for our World Video Game Hall of Fame. We also are home to the World Video Game Hall of Fame. And our exhibit High Score showcases that in a really special way. So being able to see the previous inductees and play most of them is a highlight for a lot of folks. Wildlife and animal play is another element that you'll be able to see here in the Butterfly Garden. That is always a highlight of visitors. And also part of our newest expansion is our Hasbro Game Park. And that's an outdoor exhibit focused on outdoor play, but it all has a theme of different Hasbro games. So in there you're going to find a gigantic Scotty dog from the Monopoly board. You're going to have a spinner from the game of life. You're going to be able to play a virtual game of Trivial Pursuit as you walk around. So being able to bring that outdoor element to the Play Museum has been really special too.
I saw some Lego stuff too. That certainly is a hot commodity these days.
Always. Lego continues to be popular with adults and children alike. There are many adults now that spend quite a long time putting together Legos.
Oh, yeah, I'm among them. It's just a very relaxing.
Absolutely.
I grew up with it, and it's still got an appeal.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a bit more about the video games. I know that you mentioned before that's a huge part of the draw. Even though the games have morphed over the years to maybe something a little different than what we grew up with, there's still a universal appeal to all of them.
There really is. And our two newest exhibits that are part of our most recent expansion, High Score, which I mentioned that is home to our World Video Game Hall of Fame, is one of those. The other exhibit is Level Up. And in Level Up, you actually get to become a character in a video game. So when you walk into the exhibit, you're given a free RFID bracelet, you get to create your own caricature, and you get to walk around and experience physically a lot of the fun elements of different video games as you go through the exhibit. Kids love it, adults love it. It's very unique. There's nothing like it anywhere else. So that's been a real draw for us as well. And in between Level Up and High Score, you will be treated to the world's largest Donkey Kong game. And it is truly the world's largest. It is playable, and it runs on the original Donkey Kong chip.
Wow. Yeah, I remember playing that many moons ago. Any other parts of the museum that pop into your head?
Recently, just before we opened our expansion, we also added an element of play in our high ropes course. So we now have a 2-level high ropes course and one for tiny folks too that don't meet the height requirement, but that still want to experience something like that. You're fully harnessed in. It's absolutely safe, but very popular with guests, especially for kids that need to burn off a little bit of energy. That one's pretty fun as well. Around every corner here, you're going to find something special and something different. You're going to enjoy watching your kids play, and you're also going to enjoy, as an adult, the nostalgia of looking back at how you played and how your parents played.
I know some of the entries into the Toy Hall of Fame are as simple as, I think, a ball,
a stick.
I mean, things that were among anybody's first toys, and then goes right up to Call of Duty and you name it. So it's just amazing, the universal appeal and the variety, the breadth of play that's in the world.
And we truly do believe that play is for everyone, right? We call it a cradle-to-grave activity, which can sound sort of morbid, but not meaning that, right? It's just how you play changes as you go through your life. But it is valuable, it is educational, and it's a necessity.
Who doesn't like it?
Right. This day and age, we all need a little bit more play.
Some museums, specialize in a topic that maybe not everybody loves, but who doesn't love to play?
It's true. You're not wrong.
Details, admission, hours, website.
So always check our website before you come, museumofplay.org. We have a calendar on there for the daily activities that might be going on, especially during the summer. We have a lot of individual daytime activities that happen at different hours, so be sure to check that out. It's $25 a person if you're 2 and over to enter. So you can also think about a family membership if you're planning on coming more than once. Those are only $199. So make sure you check the website. I would recommend though before you come. We are open 7 days a week. We are open 10 to 5 with the exception of Friday and Saturday where we're open till 8.
That's Sarah Poe, Senior Vice President for Marketing and Guest Experiences for the Strong National Museum of Play in downtown Rochester, New York. Learn all about it at museumofplay.org. And this has been Family Life Staycations, a weekly summertime feature highlighting great places to visit around the Family Life listening area. Please join us again next time as we hit the road again for another Family Life Staycation. Come on!
All right, love that feature. Thank you, Mark. Can't wait to see where we go next. And you can download all our staycation destinations online anytime. Go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or our website, familylife.org.
Good afternoon. Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. High pressure in New England is our fair weather friend today, but the moisture in the air that has somewhat diminished will increase again over the weekend, bringing fuel to produce some scattered showers and storms by Sunday. For this afternoon, sunshine, some mixed clouds at times across central and eastern Pennsylvania primarily. It'll be warm but not too humid, high temps in the 80s. A little pop-up shower, thunder shower in eastern Pennsylvania cannot be ruled out. Generally fair skies tonight, low in the 60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunshine, but clouds will build across central and eastern Pennsylvania and New York's eastern southern tier, where there could be an afternoon thunderstorm, high temps 80s. And on Sunday, mostly cloudy, a couple showers and thunderstorms around, with high temperatures ranging from the 70s near Lake Ontario to near 90 in central and eastern Pennsylvania.
All right, thank you, Kevin. And finally at noon for a Friday, the first woman to skateboard across America will finish her journey today. Brooke Johnson expected to arrive in Virginia Beach around 5 o'clock this afternoon. City officials are closing streets ahead of that arrival to allow spectators to watch this historic finish. Johnson says she made the journey in honor of her stepdad, who passed away from a spinal cord injury.
I promised him I would skate across America to raise money for his recovery. But unfortunately, we lost him during that period of time. And I had told him I would get a world record in his name. I'd never felt closer to him than now, because there's constantly like things going wrong on the trip, and then the solution comes instantly. And so we just feel like we got an angel out here.
That's amazing. Johnson began this trip 118 days ago in Venice Beach, California, and she'll finish today in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Along the way, she's raised nearly $50,000 for spinal cord research. Way to go, Brooke Johnson. And that's our world, the world we live in. Friday, August 15th. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm Bob Price, Family Life News.
You've been listening to the Noon Report, heard weekdays on Family Life. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.